Podcast. I am your host, Bianca Malineski, and this is episode 12. And today I have a very special guest, one of my good friends, Ms. Nicole Leanne Nelson.
Hello.
Okay, so Nicole, I always read people's Instagram bios.
Oh, great.
And yours is the longest Instagram bio I've ever had to read. It states as follows: actor, SAG-AFTRA, actor and voiceover. There's a phone emoji, and then it says agent at JVC-talent.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the filming, is that a clapboard? What is the filming thing called?
Slate.
A slate. Okay, so there's a slate. What's a clapboard?
I think it's the same thing.
Okay. And then it says my manager at Sandstone Artist. And then there's what is the painting emoji? The tray. What is that called?
Well, it's a palette.
A palette. So there's a painting palette, and it says owner and artist at Painting in Vino, LA, DM to book a paint and sip class.
Mm-hmm.
And then Los Angeles, California, and an IMDb link. Now, I always ask people, is there anything that you'd like to add or take away from that Instagram bio?
No.
Okay, so it's just it's stable. It's doing well.
I don't have the voiceover on there, the little microphone emoji.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I left that out. You do. Wow, you know that down to the emoji.
Absolutely.
She knows what she has. I feel like I just flashed the audience. Hello, girls. How are you doing tonight? Hi, Sharon. Thanks for joining. So Sharon has been with us since day one of the podcast. Always like to give Sharon a shout out because we love our fans here at the Good Girl Podcast. So Nicole Leanne Nelson, are you a good girl?
No.
Okay. Would you like to extrapolate on that?
Extrapolate? I don't even know what that means. I am bad sometimes. I don't know. I'm a good girl. I like to follow the rules, but I also do bad stuff.
Like what?
Well, I could get arrested on this podcast.
How are they going to arrest you from the podcast?
I don't know. The police are watching.
Okay.
No, I'm just I just get into trouble.
Do you get into trouble?
Yes.
Do you get into trouble, or do people around you get into trouble?
That's ridiculous to say. If you're getting in trouble, it doesn't matter if it's the people around you. You're getting in trouble.
Okay.
Everyone's their own person, and they need to do the right thing.
I know, but I feel like you don't get in trouble. It's like the people
but
around you
I chose to surround myself with that situation,
true.
Right?
Is that what you're thinking about?
I mean, yeah, but also like I cuss, so I'm a bad girl.
Do you go to church?
Yeah, I'm Catholic. But I shouldn't be cussing, and I shouldn't use the Lord's name in vain. And I'm a sinner, baby.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so she's a sinner that goes to church.
Hey, those are the ones that need to go to church.
That's true. Jesus loves you the most.
Sure.
Okay, so you are not a good girl.
No. I mean, I am sometimes. I'm not breaking the law.
Are you not breaking the law? You actually have.
I know, I might.
Out of everyone I know, I feel like you might have broken the law at one point. You definitely have with...
Am I the first person on the podcast to say that they're not a good girl?
No, there's been like one or two other people out of the 12 episodes. But you did drive home drunk from Vegas that one time.
Okay, now I'm going to be arrested from the podcast. Oh no, I've done terrible things in that aspect, yeah.
Yeah, and that way you could have gotten arrested.
What is this podcast about?
So, real quick, how Nicole and I met. So we were assigned to be on a sketch comedy team together back in 2015, right? Or 2016?
I don't know. Sounds right.
2016, maybe. So almost 10 years ago. that we've known each other. And so we started doing sketch comedy together. And then we were on that sketch comedy team for like, what, 6 or 7 years? It was called Hooch.
Long time. Like
Hooch.
at least 10 years. Wait, that wouldn't make sense because if you said 2016,
so it started
it's 2025 now.
Yeah, if it started in 2016 and then it went up until the pandemic.
Yeah.
That's really only 5 years?
Then maybe it was 2015.
Okay, so we were
regardless, it was a long time
for 5 years, meeting weekly here in this apartment, in Nicole's apartment, writing sketches and performing at the Nerdist
with this artwork
in
behind
Hollywood.
us.
This artwork was never involved in any of our sketches. But yeah, that's how we met. Two ladies doing comedy together in the great state of California in Los Angeles.
Actually, we did do a women's fake news, and it was just us.
We also did kind of like a weekend update show on this public access channel called the Nerdist Alpha channel, where we were delivering the news, but it was all fake, or some of it was fake, but it was all women related news. So we did that for like probably a year, less than a year.
Yeah, we had a lot of shows.
Yeah. So that was fun. So we've worked together. We've been friends. We've gone through
You were in my together. Web series pilot.
Oh, that's true. I thought you were going to say you were in my wedding or something. And I was like, we've actually never like been in.
I'm a bad girl, but I'm not a liar. I'm very honest. Wait, so I wouldn't say that I was at your wedding.
Oh, okay. God. We've got 7 people on.
Oh my God! So one of them's a cop, and I'm gonna get arrested.
Thank you guys for joining. If you're not subscribing to the podcast, take a second to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We go live here once a week, but I'll probably take a break this summer. Definitely make sure you subscribe. Okay. So, Nicole.
Yes.
I can't believe Dylan cheated on Brenda with Kelly.
That's from Saved by the Bell? Or is that... Wait. Brenda with Kelly.
Is that one of our sketches?
It's...
What is that?
It's... Okay, I collect the mugs from Starbucks. This isn't a plug, but I really love them. They're so nice.
Is that 90210?
This one, someone asked where the mug's from. Oh. By the way, I'm drinking coffee and it's 7 p.m. That's not a good idea.
People are obsessed with your mug.
The mug is awesome. So they have 2 of the... Bianca's like, this is not a podcast about mugs. Now it is. Yeah. So there's another one. There's multiple ones they have at Starbucks, and they do it at every city. I don't collect every city's, but they have 2 Los Angeles ones. This one and a red one. They're cute, right?
Yeah, I'm just making sure I make sense of all of the things on there.
Surfboards and mountains.
A food
truck. They go together.
There's Chinese food on there.
It's cute. There's little ramen on there.
Chinese food in LA.
Yes, there is in Koreatown. Well, that would be Korean food.
Joshua said I have like 20 of those.
I know. And it has the little camera on it.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in and commenting on Nicoles Starbucks mug.
We'll provide a link for the...
We will link the mug.
I don't know how it works, but... and the coffee inside is Nespresso, and it's the best new flavor. It's white chocolate strawberry. It's so good. I have 10 sleeves of it because it's delicious. Do you smell it?
It smells like coffee, but...
Well, it doesn't smell like...
It has like
strawberries and cream?
Fruit.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, there's no flavoring.
Actually, this brings me to a good point. Not the coffee.
You're like...
Not the coffee, but the mug.
Yeah.
What brought you to Los Angeles, Nicole Leanne Nelson?
Acting.
And that was in what year?
I'm only 21, so...
Okay.
2008.
Oh, wow. 2008. So we got here the same year. What month
you got here a couple months before me, I think, because I was literally after Thanksgiving.
Okay, I got here in October.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And look at us now.
Didn't know each other until 2016. We moved here the same year, but we didn't meet for a while. All right, guys. So you came out here for acting.
Yeah.
So did you have a plan
Yes.
when you moved out here? Okay. So what was your plan? And also, you came from Maryland, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Baltimore, Maryland. She regrets having me as a guest. No, I wanted to be in SAG immediately. SAG-AFTRA, the Actors Union. I had already known that was what I needed to do, so I just did everything and anything to get those vouchers, and I got them fairly quickly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm heavily involved in SAG-AFTRA. I'm on a stand-in committee there, and I'm gonna run for delegate again. And that was just the main thing I knew I needed to do, because you can't get the good jobs without SAG-AFTRA being in the union.
So you worked to getting your union card, and then what direction did you go in, like, once you got your union card?
When I first moved here, I was auditioning for anything and everything, which was non-union. And then I was doing a lot of background. That's how I got I got one voucher from background, but then how I got my just like in to SAG was I did a web series. And at that time, it's a long time ago, web series weren't really popular, but there was one that I did, and it was SAG. And so I immediately got into SAG, even though I did actually get my 3 vouchers, like all at the same time. But I did a lot of reality shows.
Were those SAG?
No, this was before, like when I first moved here, because I am reality gold. I will say anything.
What reality shows were you on?
The first one was Parental Control on MTV. They made me take my bikini top off and run into the ocean.
Completely? Like,
it was fake. I didn't really do it, but they made it look like I did. And I was in a huge hamster ball on the water. It was absurd. And the guy didn't pick me. And his Russian girlfriend called me a pig slut on the show. And I was upset.
Is that a Russian term?
I don't know. It's terrible. She was implying that I was a slut and fat.
Wow.
This is back then when people were allowed to say those things.
All right, guys. We're just checking in on the comments really quick. But so
anyway, so I did Parental Control, and after that I did Jerry Springer's Baggage. Won it. Jerry Springer's so nice. He's like the best. Well, he's God rest his soul. But
he died.
Yeah. But he was so nice. But Baggage, you can still find that, and it's absurd, and people are still obsessed with that show because it's so insane. It's so ridiculous. You pretty much have to say your baggage in front of the whole world.
And then it comes out, your baggage, like your people, like
like the guy that you're going to, like, that you're on the dating show with, there's 3 girls, and they have these suitcases, and inside the suitcase is a piece of baggage. So, like, mine was, I don't flush the toilet. And that was like the minor of all the other girls said she doesn't date anyone outside her race. That was one of her baggage. She was gone after that. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, he was the host. There's like 1 million episodes of Baggage. Like, there's 1 million. Wow. But people still message me about it. They're still like, oh, you were on Baggage? It was fun. And then after that, I did a pilot for MTV that was a reality show, but they cast me, and it wasn't, they just wanted to pitch the pilot, but it was about someone who, it's called Access All Areas, and it was about someone that has an addiction to something, and mine was alcohol, but it was fake for mine. But they realized, they flew my mom out twice. They had my roommates on there. They went and got us like drunk as shit at a bar and filmed the whole thing. It was crazy. But it didn't get picked up because it was only a 30-minute show, and someone that really had an issue, there's no way they'd be able to get all of their stuff in a 30-minute episode. They wouldn't be reliable. You know what I mean?
I'd have to watch the show.
You can't. It's gone. I don't even have access to it. I know. I went into Paramount and that's where we were like mainly filming stuff, was Paramount Studios, and I went in there and I watched it. After that, it didn't get picked up, and I never saw it again. I couldn't get a hold of it.
Wow.
It's out there somewhere.
I'm sure here on YouTube you guys could find it.
And then, no, you can't. Like, literally, it's like sealed away. When my mom walked up to like the main stage, there was a sign that said 16 and pregnant, or like I didn't know I was pregnant. She thought she was going to a show that I was pregnant, but it was just the other show. And then I did, my big one was on Fox with George Lopez, and that was called Take Me Out. And I did win the entire thing. It was 8 episodes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was cool. They kept us in a hotel for like 2 weeks straight, because you weren't allowed to talk to the public.
So did you feel like you were living the dream? Like,
oh my God, yes!
Being on all these reality shows?
It was amazing. There was paparazzi around when we were filming that pilot. Like, ooh, what are they filming here?
Oh, wow. And how long were you on all these reality shows before you became Union? See,
that's the thing, yeah. It went all the way up. So a couple of years I was doing these reality shows. I mean, like, I was on other ones too. I just can't even remember. But it was fun.
If you like reality shows, your name on the reality show was Nicole Willig, or was it?
Yeah, on Take Me Out, it was Nicole W. Okay. And then they didn't really say our last names or anything on it.
But you can find me on credits, right? Like in the credits as Nicole Willig.
I don't know. I might have been saying Nelson at the time.
Okay.
Because I've been Nicole Nelson since college.
Oh,
I made that choice to change my last name in college.
I thought you had to pick a name that wasn't already taken for SAG, and that's why you chose Nicole Nelson.
Nicole Willig? Like, who the hell would have that? So in college, my acting coach said, listen, you're about to graduate. If you want to change your name, you change it now. And she was like, and I suggest you change it because people could say Nicole Willig, Nicole willing to do things for parts.
Who?
That was my college coach, and she's right. People say Nicole Willing all the time. It's not that.
I never would have thought that from Nicole Willig.
Back then, it was like names were really weird. Like actors' names were really like bland, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh, the casting director is not going to know how to say your name if it's not just easy to say. I was like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But back then, that's how it was. Now it's like the more unique your name is, the better. But I like Nicole Leanne Nelson. I had to change my stage name from Nicole Nelson when I got into SAG because there was already like 5 others.
Nicole Nelsons.
Yeah. So I had to pick Nicole and my middle name, Leanne Nelson.
You could have just been Nicole Willig.
I didn't because I couldn't because my entire acting career up until that point was Nicole Nelson. Like every single casting director knew me as Nicole Nelson. Every single credit, like all of that. So
Joshua said, I spent 4 years in Burbank. Where are you living in LA? So I live in kind of Hollywood, East Hollywood, and Nicole lives in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're
West
not
Hollywood. Good.
I thought you were going to do like a hand
sign. I know. I know. No, you said I was going to do a cool whatever. No, it was a thumbs up because I'm a dork.
I'm in Maui. Okay, David. David's in Maui. We love to see it. I actually never been to Hawaii. Have you been to Hawaii?
No.
Isn't that weird?
Yes.
We've lived in LA for like
everyone's been to Hawaii
years, and we've never been to Hawaii.
Well, why does it have to do?
Because we are the closest.
Oh, really?
To Hawaii.
I don't know.
Living in LA, yeah. You would think that we've been to Hawaii. Anyway, so where are you in your career right now?
I just filmed Saturday.
What did you film?
I filmed a movie. I filmed a film. I filmed a film that
I filmed a film. Yeah. Time gone.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't remember the words.
David's lived in Maui for 5 years. We love that for you, David.
Oh, that's cool.
I dreamed a dream.
Oh God, here we go! Now it's the musical.
Living. I actually don't even know how to sing.
That is the.
Sharon is in Florida. I've been to Florida many times. You've been to Florida.
My grandparents lived in Kissimmee, and so we went there every single summer of my childhood. Like every single summer.
Did you see the mermaids in Kissimmee? Isn't that where they had the underwater mermaid show?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to go to that show when I was a kid, and then as an adult I filmed a movie in that fish tank.
In the fish tank?
Well, like in the water by the fish tank.
Wait, you were in the water though?
We were like it was like a love scene. We were like in the water and then we like went into the shore, but
okay.
Yeah. It's called the Colombian Connection.
That sounds
Generation X
naughty.
Is in the state of Indiana. Have you been to Indiana?
Probably.
Okay.
No, I toured the Midwest.
Oh, okay. So when
for
did
like
you go
a year
on tour?
That was after college. That was my first job out of college as an actor. And I toured the Midwest.
What were you touring?
I was the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland.
Okay, and that was not a musical. That was just a play.
It was a musical.
It was a musical.
Yep, I lost my voice like every day.
Do you?
I'm not kidding. Yeah. This is a real interview. She has no idea who I am, though.
Well, I can't remember, like, if you are.
Yeah,
like,
I can sing musicals. You know what I mean?
You didn't get the Les Mis lyrics, right?
I don't like that musical, but no, I didn't remember the lyrics. But no, I did musical theater forever until I moved here, and then I still did some musical theater here.
Would you ever do theater in LA?
I have. I was directing at Culver City Theater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it sucks. Not that theater, but
theater in LA.
Theater in LA, if it's not like Pantages, you know what I mean? If it's not like the big theaters.
There's some theaters over here on Santa Monica.
But the smaller
Boulevard,
ones are terrible.
Yeah.
Because actors in LA, they do not have the time commitment. And they do not memorize their lines. You have a 200-page play that you need to memorize. These actors out here are
Why
used
are
to.
you looking at me?
No, not you, not you. I'm gesturing over there because there's an actor. No, I'm just kidding. No, actors out here, like, they're used to going onto set and saying like 2 lines and then going home. So I'm serious. Like it really is a thing that people that are around here are mainly film actors, and they don't have the time commitment to show up to rehearsals for like a whole month. Like they don't.
So one thing I definitely wanted to talk about was how, like, the strikes and everything and how that changed everything. Don't you feel like maybe now, like, because the work is kind of limited, that more people would start trying to do theater in LA because there's just not as many
There's no pay.
But there's
theater.
No
there's no pay for theater. And actually, some of my friends have been turning to theater
because
recently.
There's not as much
work. Well, the industry sucks right now, so people got to do anything.
Which is theater.
What kind of theater?
Theater in the round.
Theater in the round.
Black box theater.
We're dorks.
Auditorium outside.
Auditorium.
Shakespeare in the Park. We should do Shakespeare in the Park.
Do it or see it. Because I've seen it and it's okay.
Yeah, I've seen it too at Griffith Park.
Yeah.
It's okay. All right, guys. Can you say hi to my friend Nick Gour? Hi, Nick.
Hi, Nick. Actually, we had a guy on our sketch team named Nick.
Yeah, Nick Pettigrew.
Where is he?
I don't know. Should we call him and find out? Should we call people on the podcast, friends of ours, and see if they answer the phone? That could be our new gimmick on the podcast.
I mean, did you want to try to do that? I don't know how to do that.
Okay. Well, we have to use your phone. So
then no.
Okay. Career-wise, right now,
the strike killed everything. Yes. But I feel like during the strike, which was it last year or the year before?
I don't even know. Well, there was honestly, the writer's strike and then there was the actor's strike.
No, that was happening at the same time, though.
Well, no. So there was COVID, and that's when the writer's strike happened. The writer's strike was a long one.
Yeah. But the actor's strike was also in COVID, that.
And then the actor's strike was after that, right?
Well, there was everybody going on strike when the actors were going on strike. Like the directors, the writers, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was horrible because I was currently working on a TV show and we had to stop. And so that sucked. Because I had COVID? Something. No. Mm-mm.
Was that?
This was like, after? I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before.
Okay.
But that was absolutely terrible because it was like I literally can't go to work. And I worked on a TV show like the Young Sheldon. So like that was heartbreaking for me. But I knew that we needed to do it. Like, I knew the union needed to do it. And because we got to, like, raise our prices raise our prices. Well, the prices are raising, so we need to raise our earnings, blah, blah, blah. But then I went back to Young Sheldon, and then Young Sheldon ended. And I think it was because of the strike that Young Sheldon ended, because the kids got older. So they like made the decision to end it, even though it is very popular still right now on Netflix. But then they also had a spinoff that was coming. So then as soon as Young Sheldon ended, I started a Christmas movie on Netflix called The Merry Gentleman. And then that only went till June. And ever since June, I have not really had much. And I used to consistently be on a TV show,
so
like jumping from TV shows.
By that time, the strikes were over, but it was an election year.
Yes.
So people were worried about the economy and like what was going to happen. And so there was this saying going around town last year, like hang on till 25.
Yep.
Or like hang tight till 25.
Yeah.
And then 2025 came around, and then January.
But it's the tax incentives that are the problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's complicated in LA right now. I feel like ever since COVID, ever since the pandemic, LA has really just struggled because it was COVID, and then it was the strikes, and then more strikes, and then the fires, and also just the changing industry and like AI and stream. Like it's just, I think it's in the state of trying to figure out what's happening. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like.
I mean, I've started to get a little bit more work recently, like literally within the past 2 weeks. So I think something's happening, but it's not the same. It's not the same.
No, because we're in May, so
people keep saying, "Oh, just wait until September," but that's like when the primetime shows come back. But usually during the summer,
shows are there anymore?
Well, like the network shows, like the. Like the fall, like Young Sheldon, Georgie and Mandy, and like Ghosts, so they come back and they do their fall season. But for other things, I usually book the most of my stuff during the summer, like at this time on. Like Lady in the Lake was my most recent thing. You asked what I'm doing now.
Oh, yeah. I just asked about your career.
Lady in the Lake. I was with Natalie Portman in a scene. You should find it.
Okay, so you also started a business.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you talk a little bit about the reasoning behind the business you started, and what is the business?
Yeah. So the industry it sucks, and I can't do anything about it because I'm the type of actor where I fully take control of my acting career. I do every single thing that I can to be on a set, and it's just not happening. Like, it's just what's going on right now. So I needed to do something for money, and I also had the time to invest in starting my own business, and I also still wanted to be creative. So I'm also a painter. I started painting in Florida with my grandmother because Bob Ross painting classes are in Florida.
Oh.
Yeah, like you literally can't be a Bob Ross instructor unless you take the classes in Florida. Isn't that crazy?
Really?
Yeah, because I want to do it. It's actually a lot of money, but you'd have to fly to Florida to do it.
Was he from Florida?
To be honest, I don't know. I don't think so. I think they just moved his company there.
Okay.
Like, I think his company, because when he died, I think they just like moved it there, and that was the hub. I'm not entirely sure, but
okay. So
most of the classes are there.
Yeah.
So I learned how to paint when I was 13. I've been painting out here ever since, but recently I started picking it back up because it's a nice meditative activity to do. And then I was like, what if I did paint and sip classes?
You just woke up one morning and thought that?
No, I was applying to be a paint assistant or something, to be an art assistant. And I came across it on LinkedIn, an opportunity to have my own business as a paint and sip instructor. And I wanted to do it during the strike, but I didn't have time because I knew I was going back to Young Sheldon. Whereas now, I don't have anything to go back to. So I was like, let's freaking do it. And so I bought all the supplies and I invested in everything you need to invest in to have your business. And it's not in one location. It's around LA in different bars and restaurants. So I'm currently working with about 15 bars and restaurants around Los Angeles, and we do the paint and sips there. I just had one last night. It was 12 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was very fun. They are very fun. And Bianca, you've been to 2.
Yes. It's a lot of, it's a great way to spend an evening with friends or go on a date, like something different.
But also be creative and like put your mind to something instead of thinking about the outside world. Literally, when you're painting, you have to focus on your painting, and you're so involved, you're so in it that you don't think about other stuff. Like, that's why I like painting. But
so tell me about how you feel coming from having a hard time with the change in the acting industry, with the film industry, into starting your own business. How did it make you feel personally to just go out there and start that business? And how do you feel when you're teaching the classes?
I love it. It's very rewarding. Not only is it pretty good money, but it's rewarding because I make connection, like people get connected through each other within the class. Like you met someone in one of the classes, and that's generally what happens. Everybody is happy, and literally they can come into it very nervous, like, I don't know how to paint. Or maybe they're arguing, like a mom and a daughter were arguing when they entered the class. By the end of class, everyone is laughing. We're making jokes with each other. We've shared personal things. Sometimes people cry because they're like emotionally, it's like therapeutic for them. And sometimes they're telling me their life story and then they get emotional. It's not sad. It's like a release of emotions, I guess. When you're being artistic, a lot of emotions come out naturally. You know that during acting, sketch. So it's rewarding to see other people happy. I'm very hands-on. I'm extremely like involved in, I need to know everyone's name. You know, I like to make jokes and talk to people directly during the class. And so the personal connection that I make is rewarding for me. And I just want everybody to have a good time, to have fun, and maybe learn something. You've learned some techniques about painting.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have learned a few techniques that I never would have known without taking a class.
And people are proud when they see what they've done, what they didn't think was possible. And then they're like, whoa, I did that painting. That's crazy. And that's rewarding.
I think from going to 2 of the classes, what I've seen the most that I really like is people who come by themselves and make friends and are socializing, and they kind of maybe were a little introverted, and you know, you're there and it's in LA. Sometimes it can be hard to like go up and talk to people, but because we're all there for the same thing, it gives you an opportunity to talk about how did you hear about the class or and make friends. So I think that's been one of the nicest things I've seen, is just the people who sign up by themselves and then they leave with all these like new friends.
I feel like there's always one person that attends the class because they just moved to the area. Like that happened in Venice twice. And then people that just want to be social and get out and they want to do something. Some people are like, I've always wanted to paint, so I signed up. And they're like, not with anybody. They just signed up, and by the end of the class, they have some friends. Like they, you know, whether they exchange numbers or Instagram or whatever, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be freeing. It's supposed to be getting involved in something you haven't done before, checking it out. Maybe some people are really good at painting. They just never tried it.
Do you feel like your confidence level has gone up now that you have your own business?
I feel like I'm a nicer person. I don't know if I'm a pretty confident person, but like, I feel like I'm a nicer person because I have a business now. So I'm like, I need to be nice to people because they're either leaving me reviews or I need to get them in the class, or
but I
just have this like new business sense where I'm like, I need to be nicer to people. You know what I mean? Like anyone I meet, they could attend a class. They could, you know, I don't know.
I see you in class talking to people, I don't feel like it's like fake nice. I feel like you're genuinely nice to people.
Yeah.
Because I think you're passionate about what you're doing and you're excited about what you're doing and you're encouraging and you're a good teacher, and you're also like, you thrive being in front of people and entertaining. So I feel like I see you really thriving And I think this ease you're talking about is really you just like finding something that really works for you, and maybe you're just more at ease.
Yeah.
Like
it's definitely like less stress than being on a TV set. When you're on a TV show, you're always needing to be perfect. The second you mess up, you're fired. It's true.
Yeah.
And that can create a lot of stress. However, I am very good at being on set. Like I'm my most comfortable on a set or in a studio lot. Like I'm at home. But like there is also still that you need to be on top of everything. You need to have your lines memorized. You can't mess up. You have to be right there. You can't walk away. So like it's a totally different feeling. It's a totally different job. And I do like the more relaxed aspect of the painting classes.
Yeah.
Now, this is just something I wanted to put in place until I get on a show regularly again. And I do feel like I do have it in place, the paint and sips.
Yeah.
And I plan my own schedule. So if I get on a TV show and I have to be there Monday through Friday, I can do the paint and sips on the weekend, and I already have everything in place for the business. So that was the plan for that. And the industry is kind of picking up. Like I've had a couple different, like I filmed a music video. Oh my God, music video. But I was principal on it, and I didn't even know music videos existed, but it was like a K-pop music video. I filmed that last week, and then I just filmed it was like it's a feature film. Like the other day. And then so I've had a couple of other acting jobs the past couple weeks. But a lot of stand-in stuff has been coming back, like avails and stuff like that. And I have an audition that's due tomorrow, so
yeah,
it's still happening. Like I have full faith in what I've laid down for my acting career, that's still going to be what I'm doing. It's just a little slow. So now I'm also doing the painting classes.
But do you feel like you don't miss being so stressed on set?
I miss it like a mother.
You miss the stress?
Yes.
Having to be
yes. First of all, it's a shit ton of money. And second, like you're on set with like
so you make
famous actors,
more money
producers,
acting.
Directors, and you are in it. Like you are Hollywood.
Are you making more money acting than the paint and sip?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like triple.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I also, like I said, I love being on set, and I love being on a studio lot in general. Like I feel my most comfortable there. So I do miss it very much. But I do also love the paint and sip classes. But that's the thing about being able to do everything.
You are a positive person, Nicole. Love it.
That's
from Sharon. Sharon said that.
Thank you, Sharon.
That's not
I feel like I'm being more positive lately in my life, whereas I always viewed myself as more of a negative person. But
I think this business is really changing things for you.
I
think whenever someone gets not like ownership over something, but like
you have to
like even me just doing this podcast or writing my book, I have something now that
that you're working on, that you are putting your effort towards, instead of waking up and being like, oh, when am I going to get an audition? When am I going to be on set? Like, am I a waste of space? But now it's like, no, I have a business that I'm running.
But like you were saying, that you see how it's helped people and that makes you feel good. I've seen how this podcast and my book has helped people, and that makes me feel like I'm making a difference and maybe hopefully making the world a better place. And it makes me feel better. It makes me feel more at ease, because sometimes like just auditioning and like doing the grind and the day jobs, like I didn't feel like I was really contributing to anything.
Well, it is very selfish in what it is. You're only worrying about how you look, how you're acting. Are they going to like me? Like it is a very selfish thing, which is okay, because that's what it is. You have to audition. You have to think about yourself at all times. But now we're doing something for other people, and it feels better.
Yeah.
But
you are on YouTube, baby. The world will never be a better place. Well,
hey, there's a lot of people making a difference on YouTube, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm trying to think the last thing. Well, I was watching something on YouTube right before I came over here about the Met Gala. It was like the red carpet interview.
I didn't even know that was happening. Was it today?
that was something for me to look forward to all day, was that live on YouTube. So I was excited to see that.
Don't know if that's making a difference.
So, well, it was an important Met Gala because it was about dandyism, like in Black, so Black culture and tailoring and fashion and like the Black dandy, which I thought was like an interesting theme. And so a lot of menswear, more men's fashion. I mean, there obviously were women too, but
yeah.
So how
like how I'm looking in.
How do you keep up the hustle? Like, how do you do that?
Hustle.
Because don't you feel like
there's so much going on? Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I'm a very organized person in general. You have to be organized to keep it all together. You have to make sure your schedule jam-packed whenever you can do anything. You just gotta cram it all in. I have many different, like, I use Airtable to organize things. It's a database kind of like Excel, but it's way easier to use. And so I have all of my inventory and my classes in there and my contacts, and like I have my shows that I track. So I also have a database that I created that I track TV shows throughout the entire world. You know about this, right? So every single TV show throughout the entire world, I have a database and I update it. And I know the casting director, I know the season, I know if it's been renewed, I know what episode they're on, like what episode they're currently filming, not airing, filming. I know the dates that they're filming, and this is a lot of research that I did prior that now I just have to upkeep. So I have a lot of stuff, a lot of hard work that I put into place prior to right now. So I can keep on top of acting stuff in that way. I have a voiceover booth in my apartment, like professional voiceover stuff. So if I have a voiceover audition or a voiceover job, I just go to my closet and do it. I have box lights and a self-tape setup. I film stuff. So everything is very accessible for me. That's also important to stay on top of things. If you have to drive somewhere to do something, that takes time. So,
but you have the mentality to keep up the hustle.
Yeah,
like, or do you get depressed and it's sometimes it's hard for you to hustle?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I get tired. Like I get tired of nonstop doing things, like keeping up with things or doing this job. I also have a part-time job at a yoga studio. I have to fit that in. You know what I mean? Like I do so many also random jobs too that I'm also just filling it in.
I feel like that's the thing about being an actor, trying to make it in LA or New York, where you're just hustling. There's always,
you have to,
20 things you could be doing to help your career. And it's like, there's no one telling you to do it. You just have to do it.
Yeah. Otherwise you'll be back in Maryland.
Yeah.
Well, not you.
Not
back
me.
in Maryland, but you gotta, you can't stay in LA if you don't have the money for it, and it's very expensive. So you gotta do it.
That's true. Oh, thank you, Mike. Mike said that Bianca looks amazing as always.
No, thank you, Mike.
Okay. So
cram it all in, baby.
What inspires you? Do you get inspired?
Yeah, but that's a weird. I mean, great question, Bianca. Let's see. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like
what inspires you? Well, I guess we can talk about your painting. Like what, or being an artist, or what inspires you? Like, do you feel like you have to seek inspiration to paint or to keep going with acting? I mean, you watch movies and like.
I think maybe that everything I do is connected to my grandmothers. I know this sounds weird, but I feel like maybe that's the inspiration. Like my grandmother, they're not living anymore, but like my grandmother on my dad's side was like literally my favorite person. So sometimes I am motivated to do better because of her. I don't know. She also inspired me to like do crafting, like all the costumes that we had to do for like sketch and to be creative. That was that grandmother. She taught me how to sew. She taught me how, like, everything. And then my grandmother on my mom's side was the one that took me to the painting classes. So that also makes me feel good that I'm doing something that my grandmother taught me how to do. And I feel connected to them in that way. And that inspires me to keep going and to keep doing those things. And then my grandmother on my dad's side is also extremely religious. And I am pretty religious. Like I read at the church and stuff. And that also inspires me to keep going and to be a better person and to just honestly really to keep going, because there's times when you don't think you should. I mean, that's pretty deep, but like it's true. Like you said, depressed, but it's more like I can't freaking do this anymore.
And you think about your grandmother?
I do, yeah. And you know, I had to move out here from Maryland all the way across the US, and why did I come here if I'm not going to keep plugging away? And looking at the Hollywood sign, I cry every time I see it, no matter what. I've been out here for as long as we've been out here, and if I see the Hollywood sign, I cry. If I'm on a plane and I'm coming back from Maryland or somewhere else and we fly into LA, I cry because I love LA so much.
Wow.
So LA in itself inspires me.
Wow.
I lived my whole life trying to be here, and I'm here.
Wow. Well, you're here, baby, and you got that mug to prove it.
I have 10 mugs that say Los Angeles.
That's a good answer. No,
as I was first like, what do you mean inspired? And then you're like, oh, that's a good answer.
Well, no, because first of all, the grandparents, I was not expecting that, but there's so much there that the mentorship, the inspiration, like to keep going, kind of going back to the people who instilled these things in you, like that is so important, because talk about like having to keep going, and it's not for you, but for someone else who believed in you, you know? So
yep, that's exactly it. And they taught me those things. They taught me how to be creative, how to make costumes, how to sew, how to paint, how to be artistic. Like, remember we made props for sketch? Like,
Nicole,
all of that stuff was from my childhood.
Like, very, very crafty.
But also my parents are extremely supportive of this life that I chose. From day one, they've been very supportive. Like, I mean, my mom had to tell me, get to California, do not stay in Maryland any longer. You are getting out there. Right? Oh. Like she said, get out there. So,
which is not usually the case for most kids wanting to come out here and pursue acting. Usually their parents are like, you're going to get in the porn industry or something. Oh. Segue.
Yeah. Let's talk about porn.
Okay, Bianca and Nicole, you are both so talented, and I really love listening to you both. Two beautiful young ladies. Thank you, Sharon. Shout out to Sharon.
The important thing that she said was young.
Yeah. Everyone, give Sharon her flowers.
Thank you, Sharon.
In the chat. Okay, guys. So, what is your relationship to money?
Huh?
What is your relationship to money?
My relationship to money is great.
Oh, good.
So. What inspires you? I have no idea. Do you like money? Oh, I love it. Money inspires me. No, so during COVID, I was not good financially. I was really like barely hanging on. I had debt. I had, oh my God, it was so out of control. Like I needed to just have a general doctor like appointment. I couldn't even afford to do that. Like everything was a mess. COVID made you literally sit down. You couldn't do anything else. And I took finance courses, kind of, not like to be an accountant or anything, but how to take control of your debt and how to, mainly it was about that. And I learned how to do taxes, like acting taxes. I'm really good with that. I could do a class on that. But like I track every single freaking penny that I spend.
Really?
I could go back 2020 on in that database that I told you I have a database, and every single thing has been accounted for in there. Every single penny. If I did laundry and I put one quarter in, I'm not kidding. If I bought a bag for 10 cents, it is in that database.
So do you feel like that helped you?
Yes, it helps you create a budget. It helps you see, what am I spending money on? I have a little document that's called alcohol. And you go in there and you say, how much did I spend on alcohol last year? And it's pretty freaking depressing. Sometimes you're like, oh my God, I really need to stop buying. And it does change how I view it. And it changes what I spend my money on.
What do you spend the most money on?
And like, not remember, but like, you know how people buy clothes on a whim, like buy shoes, like the newest shoes, like buy it. When you have a database and you see how much it costs, you're like, I need to not be buying shoes anymore. Like, it's ridiculous. I have so many, and look how much money I wasted last year buying random shoes. And it makes a difference. It's a huge difference, and it changes my mindset. You have to see the numbers. If you just keep living without seeing the numbers, you're going to be in debt for the rest of your life.
What did you spend the most money on last year?
Well, I'd have to pull up the database.
Well, what do you remember?
But I mainly spend the most money on, obviously, rent is the big one, but you have to spend money on that. And food, you know, I have a budget with how much I spend at the grocery store every single week. I have a budget.
What's
your
budget?
You can't go over it. Every week, I can't spend more than $75 at the grocery store for a week of groceries.
Not very much.
Guess what? It is when you actually look at what you're buying and you don't just go and splurge.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to be disciplined with it. And also, I spent 4 years getting out of debt. I just got out of debt, and I am really proud of that. It's a very proud thing, and I worked so hard to do that. Like, every paycheck.
My body.
She has a lot of cash up here. Every penny from my paycheck went to getting out of debt, because you can't get rich, honey, if you aren't out of debt, because you're paying someone else. So,
is that your goal, is to get rich?
Well, isn't that everyone's? I want to buy a house. That's my newest. Okay. So that also was never a possibility. I was never going to be able to buy a house. Now it is. It's part of the steps that I'm taking, and it's actually, I'm at that point where I'm saving for a down payment.
Oh, wow.
Like, I would have never been able to do that if I didn't look at all my money and figure out, where's this going, and I need to get out of debt, and then you can start saving.
So you got out of debt.
Yeah.
And now you're saving.
Well, actually, I'm able to survive these terrible, slow times because I'm out of debt.
Yeah.
So my relationship with money is extremely good, and it didn't used to be. And I recommend it to every single person, that you got to get control over that.
What would you recommend them to use? Is it an app?
Their brain. No.
Oh.
No, it's not an app.
It's just
you just got to do it.
Create Excel.
Yeah. I mean, there's courses you can take with, like, you know, figuring out how to get out of debt. And there's books and stuff. Who's the guy that I like? Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey, he's like the main guy that I followed, and I read his books. He calls them baby steps. And that one of the baby steps is to get out of debt. But I would suggest getting that book. Can't remember what the name of it is, but Dave Ramsey has many books, and it's great. It really works. It works.
Do you ever feel ashamed about anything?
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, like what?
I'm asking, like,
no, but like what?
Like,
what
do
are
you
you
ever
ashamed
feel
of?
Ashamed? Sometimes I feel ashamed, like when I'm walking to my car and people are looking at me, like, and maybe I'm like, oh, am I wearing an outfit? Like, but that's
you
not.
Usually are.
Yeah, but people usually, you know, I don't like it when people look at me like in that way. But I love to get dressed up.
Yeah.
And it feel, you know, or sometimes like when I'm going on walks and there's people, you know, sometimes there's like construction workers or something, and they stare at me as I walk by. I feel like this like shame. I don't know. And I know it's not, you know, I know it's coming from like a lot of like social like conditioning, but I don't know. Do you ever feel that, like walking by like a group of guys and you know they're looking at you?
I don't. That's something I've never been.
Or shame about your body, like that's what.
Oh yeah, I've always hated the way I look.
So that's what I feel like for me. Like I feel like they're looking at me because of my body, like, but you know they might be admiring my body, but they're still looking at my body.
Okay, but that's
like,
because you are wearing like more revealing things.
Be
but you're allowed to do that. But you have to understand that people are going to look if you're looking sexy.
Yeah,
and you want to look like that, and that's your choice.
Clothes or something,
but you do wear very sexy things
sometimes. But sometimes,
and people are gonna look. Do you blame them?
No, but I feel like when you ask me, what do you feel ashamed about? I could literally just be in workout clothes, walking, and the construction workers look at me.
Come on, they're gonna look at.
And I feel ashamed to have a female body because it's like if I didn't, they wouldn't be looking, but I do. And like, I don't like that attention from them, but there's no way around it. Like,
no, that's why you just gotta.
McCheese said, people look at me because I'm beautiful. All right, McCheese.
McCheese
in the chat.
But the thing is, like,
I wish I could just be like, thank you guys for looking at me because I'm beautiful. But when you ask me, do you feel ashamed of anything? I do feel this like shame of like having a female body and like men looking at it. Like there is this shame of like, that they're looking at me because it's like they're attracted to my body, or like they're looking at it sexually. Like there is this like maybe Catholic shame or guilt, like I just need to be in like a nun outfit so they don't even think about it.
Well, they would look at you then too.
Yeah, it's like the thing is, it's like they're gonna look at me regardless, and I wish I could just be like, "Hey, boys, thanks."
No,
like it's okay, like sex is normal, like but I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking to myself, like, oh no, like they're thinking, thoughts, and it makes me feel ashamed. So anyway, what makes you feel ashamed?
To be honest, not much.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident in myself, and I'm very blunt, and I'm open, so I don't really hide things from people, and I guess maybe sometimes I am a little ashamed of the things that I tell people because maybe they're like, whoa, that's a lot of info. But I don't care because like I'm an open book.
Yeah.
I've just been that way. I don't know if it's an East Coast thing or me just knowing myself really well, because as an actor, you must know yourself very well. That's the only way you'll make it as an actor, is if you know yourself really freaking well. And so I've done that. And so now I'm not afraid to tell anybody things. So maybe I'm ashamed. No, I'm not ashamed of that. But sometimes people do react weird, like when I say things that maybe are abrupt or maybe they're too personal that they're feeling comfortable about it. But if I'm saying it, I don't feel uncomfortable about it. I guess ashamed. Not really. I don't know. Not really.
Nicole Leanne Nelson. Shame. Oh, so I went to the Renaissance Fair this weekend.
And?
Well, I went to the jousting competition, and I feel like they forgot to tell us, because they told the other half of the stadium about like shaming, like shame.
Oh, like I don't remember that.
Yeah, but they didn't tell us about when to say shame, and so people were just like throwing it out like at random times, and I'm like, wait,
why were you saying that? Why was it?
Well, all we could hear is the other people chanting shame. Okay. And we were like, oh, are we supposed to chant it at a certain time, like during the joust?
Was it because the guy did a bad job at the jousting or something?
That doesn't really make much sense, though.
I don't get it. I don't know. But I do kind of get what you're saying. I feel like I have maybe heard shame. Like, but I don't.
We were confused. Our whole half of the stadium was like,
the whole stadium.
We're confused. Mike Honcho said, I understand that feeling, Bianca. You always preset yourself professionally, so you should take pride in your appearance. Oh, thank you, Mike. We see, guys, YouTube can be a lovely place. It can. We can share YouTube. And yes.
This is YouTube?
This is YouTube. We are live on YouTube. Hey, sweetie.
I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed I didn't know. Shame.
Yeah. So, are you single?
No.
You want to talk about it?
Nope. No. I have a boyfriend.
Yeah. When I met Nicole, she was like, I had a boyfriend before I moved out here, but
no, I had a fiance.
Yeah, you had a fiance, and you're like, now I'm out here, and you didn't date anyone for like years.
Well, you
dated casually dated people, but you didn't have a boyfriend for like years.
Yeah, 10 years.
All of a sudden, she had a boyfriend, not this boyfriend, but another boyfriend for a few years, and then you just got another boyfriend right after that, and now you're like, boyfriend Nicole.
I'm shamed that you would say that. Shame. Now everything I'm like, am I ashamed of this? No, I did not necessarily want to get out of a 6-year relationship and then jump into another one, but it happened. I actually enjoy being single because I have a lot of stuff that I gotta do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't usually involve
when I met Nicole, she was on all these like leagues and teams. You had kickball.
Oh yeah, I'm also a professional bowler, but that's how I met my current boyfriend, is because we were on a bowling team together. Well, no, we were just bowling together.
When you met your boyfriend, your current boyfriend, did you feel like you knew that there was like something like right away, or because you guys were friends for like a little bit?
Yeah, we were friends for a while, and I was still getting out of that relationship that I had for 6 years. And actually, Hans and I, my boyfriend now, we've been together for 9 months. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Remember back when we were like, oh God, it's only been 3 months and you guys are going home for Christmas?
Well,
and now it's like 9 months, and it's like,
I remember
where did the time go?
He came to your birthday party, and you guys that was like your first like public outing together.
Yeah, but we weren't together yet then.
But it was like you brought him to your birthday party.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like kind of a little bit of a soft launch, because none of us knew anything about him. Like Johnny no, Johnny wasn't here. Wait, no, was Johnny here?
No, he was on the phone.
He was on the phone. That's right. But Andrew and Matt.
I was definitely told that I needed to be. He definitely wanted to be boyfriend and girlfriend, and he said, if we don't become boyfriend and girlfriend, I'm gonna start looking somewhere else. And I was like, no.
After how long that you guys?
Like 3 weeks.
From when you guys started dating, like after you had broken up with your ex, and then you guys were just like dating. I mean, I guess that's kind of normal.
Yeah.
For some people just know. You know, if somebody came to me though and was like, okay, it's been 3 weeks and I need to know if you want to lock it down or not, I'd have to have pretty strong feelings for them to be like, yes, let's do it.
Well, he's such a great guy, like literally the nicest person on the planet that I've ever met, and he's so just so kind and nice, and I couldn't stand to think of someone else getting him, because I was like, how could I let him go? So I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's be in a relationship. Now it's been 9 months. We're going to Baton Rouge for the bowling nationals tournament. We're going to Disney World with my family in June. And we may be going to Greece. I don't know.
My birthday is in August, and that is the Greece trip, in case you guys
My
were
birthday is
wondering.
in August, and she's going to Greece, and I might have to
But
go.
I'm turning 40, so that's why we're going to Greece.
And I'm only 30.
I thought you were 21.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I'm 21.
Okay, so what was dating like for you before you, I guess?
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. I meet people so easy. Like, I'm really outgoing, and I just talk to anyone, anywhere.
Yeah.
But I was also playing kickball like 3 nights a week. I was bowling 3 nights a week.
That's how people meet each other, is kickball?
Well, activities.
Yeah.
Like activities that you're like the paint and sips, like any type of a class, right? Even work. I was serving for like 12 years. I was a server. So you meet people there. I was meeting people, too many people. I used to say I needed, instead of a dating app, I needed an app to tell me not to fuck people.
Like the reverse of Grindr, where it's like, just stop.
Yes. Yeah, because there was just way too many people I was meeting, not necessarily doing, but dating. And it was fun. I miss it. I mean, I don't miss it. No, but it is fun.
Dating.
But it is aggravating sometimes, right? Like when you actually do
like
somebody and then they don't
like you.
Yeah.
Or is he gonna call? Or
right.
What does he
but
think?
That's
of
also
me?
fun. It gives you life. Like the exciting moments, you know?
Yeah.
It's nice to be comfortable with someone. That's another feeling. But I also like the feeling of, you know how you are right now. Like you're just like, oh my God, I'm going on a second date. And it's, you know what I mean? Like that gives you life. And relationships have a good when you're comfortable, that's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
But like I also love the uncertainty of just like, I just met this guy, I think he might call me. Like I like that.
Yeah.
It literally just keeps me alert, and it's just like it gives me life. I don't know.
Well, the good thing about what happened with you and Hans is that 3 weeks in, he was like, do you want to do this or not? Usually the case with like dating in LA is that men will string you along for 6 or 7 months and they will not want to commit to you, which is the not fun part.
No, that's not fun. Yeah. But we were also like friends before, and that's always my best relationships is when you're friends with someone first.
How long were you friends for?
Well, we started bowling in the same league in May. So May, June, July, August.
Oh, okay. So a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's kind of easier when you like you're not going to be strung along. I feel like it's less likely if you actually like have like
Did you
something
know
with that
person. He liked you?
Yes. Who doesn't? No, but seriously, he was like, I could tell he was obsessed.
Did you know that you liked him?
No.
Because you were in a relationship?
I was, 1, fighting it, yes, and 2, I was in a relationship, and he's not my type. He's white, tall. That's it. That's not my type.
Older than you?
Oh, older, yeah. So he wasn't my type looks-wise, and he wasn't my type in his like life. Like he's older. So I was like, do I have feelings for him? I don't know. And I was fighting it for a while, I think. Yeah. Because I didn't want to accept it, I guess. But then I was like, no, I can't. No, I can't not think about him. And it morphed.
And now here you guys are living together. He's just in the other room beyond that door right now. Or maybe not.
He's trapped in the room. I locked him
in. Okay, so.
But I do miss being single.
What do you miss?
The excitement.
Of like going out and seeing if he'll call you and all that bullshit.
Yeah. It is bullshit, but it is fun sometimes.
Yeah. Well, you could go out and like, you know, not like do anything with anyone, but like you could go out with your girlfriends and, you know, go to bars.
And what?
Like go to bars and like, you know, look at guys.
Oh,
and,
I can?
And talk about
Should we ask Hans if that's what's okay?
But not like do anything. But like I think there's no harm.
Then what's the fun in that?
There's no harm in a little like, you know, like harmless, like, you know,
it's not okay to do that. God.
Usually when I'm in a relationship, I am actually not attracted to other men.
Well, you're a good girl. Weird. Bringing it back around, baby.
You are.
And very faithful.
Yeah.
Next question, please.
So, what is a red flag for you? Like, what's something that a guy will do and you're like, nope, that's a red flag. Nope.
Weed heads.
Someone who smokes weed.
Like nonstop. I can't do it.
Yeah,
They're lazy. That. I don't like it. They're always in this state of being high, and I feel like they're not present. I don't like it. I have dated people that were like non-stop smoking weed, and I couldn't do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
They just became really lazy, and that's a red flag. I like a lot of different people, and I give a lot of people grace with their issues or habits.
What if they lied to you?
I don't like lying because I'm really honest, so I don't like that. So that's a good one. Yeah, I don't like that. Ooh, I know. Red flag. I don't like when people are flaky. So if I had a birthday party and I invited a guy that I was interested in and he said he would make it, but then he didn't, done. I would never speak to him again.
Really?
Yep. I don't like flakes. Yeah. I don't like it. If you say you're going to do something, you better freaking be there or you're dead. Like literally you'd have to be dead for me to forgive you for not showing up.
Yeah.
Like I just think that's unacceptable and it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
And there's a lot of that in LA.
There is.
A lot of flaky people.
You can weed people out in that way, honestly.
Yeah.
Right?
I've met some super flaky people. Like in the last few years, I think people have gotten flakier, to be honest.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And it's just disrespectful. So if they don't, let's say they say, okay, I'm going to call you tomorrow around noon so we can discuss blah, blah, blah. And then they don't call, right? Mm-hmm. And then they don't like text or whatever. But then later they're like, sorry, I was busy. I didn't. That's okay. But it still bothers me. Like if you say you're going to, at least tell me in the moment, hey, give me a few minutes. I'll call you later. Right? Yeah. Like just communicate. I love communication. People in LA, they do not freaking communicate with each other.
This is a good point. So let me ask you about this. There was a guy that he had called me, I think it was like on a Friday or a Saturday, and we were talking, and he was like, we should get together next week. What's your schedule like? And I was like, Wednesday. And he was like, great, let's get together Wednesday. So this was like Friday night. I think we had this conversation. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday rolls around. I don't hear from him. Mm-hmm. So somebody else asked me to go out on Wednesday. And so I didn't hear from this other guy. And it had been a minute since I had heard from him prior to that conversation. So I was just like, okay, obviously he has not reached out to make plans. I don't know what we're doing. I'm going to go take up this other guy's offer to go to dinner. So he texts me finally Wednesday at like 3 or 4. And I'm like, oh, I didn't hear from you, so I already made other plans.
Absolutely.
So that's okay.
What did he say? No, that's not okay. It's messed up.
On my part? No,
on his part. Yeah.
I told him I made other plans because I didn't hear from you. And then I didn't hear from him for like a week or two. And then finally he texted me back and he was like, what are you up to this weekend? Sorry, I didn't get back to you. Like work has been crazy. Pretty sure he didn't get back to me because he was pissed off that I had made other plans. But anyway, so this saga has been continuing of getting together, and I don't know. It's like, why is it so hard to get together?
I just thought of something I'm ashamed of.
Oh, okay.
It's giving guys grace, like, to do that when I've done that. Because I really like people, like if I really like a guy and he's like being fickle with when he texts me or when we go out, or if I'm the one always saying, hey, let's do this. That's kind of something I'm ashamed of, like allowing them to let me get so riled up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, that's that excitement that you
like love. If they want to see me, I know, right? Every answer I've said so far, I'm going to go back and then say that it's not that answer.
That you're ashamed. Shame.
Yeah. Shame. No, just like hanging on. And it's like, if they wanted to see you, they'd see you.
I 100% agree with this. If someone wants to see you, they will move mountains to see you.
Absolutely.
They will change their schedule. They will call off work. They will break up with their girlfriend. They will do whatever it is they need to do to see you, to make time for you.
But isn't it the people that you can't, it's almost like, remember, what's the phrase when you're like,
I can't
hard
quit
to get?
you.
Well, like hard to get. It's
Oh,
those ones that you always fall for.
have?
Yes, yeah. So it's so stupid when you're like, I realize this guy is probably not really interested in going on a date with me if I keep asking, and he's still going on them, but like I keep asking. It's like
there is this one guy that I am like I've been so into for so long, and we won't say his name. And I will not let myself keep reaching out to him. Like I feel like I don't care who this person is. It's like if he knows I'm alive, he knows I'm not dead. He has my phone number. It's like if he wanted to see me, he would make a date with me.
I know.
You know, so I don't need to constantly be like, oh, hey, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. You know, like I don't need to do that.
I will say though, there are times when I do take the risk and like reach out because I think, well, what if they're not reaching out because they're nervous? So you know what? I'm just going to reach out, and I do. I'll take that leap of faith and do it. And then if it's not reciprocated, then it's like, all right, well, at least I took the leap of faith. At least I tried.
You know what's crazy? With this person I'm talking about, I took a leap of faith. This was like 2 years ago. I took a leap of faith. I texted him. He never responded until like almost a year later or like 6 months later. And he was like, I'm so sorry. I just thought of you. And then I saw that you texted and I never responded. And
a year later.
Literally. And so I was like, oh, like, yeah, I reached out to him. He never responded. And then like, he was just thinking of me and he like forgot or whatever. I don't know. And then he texted me, but then like I reached out like 2 times after that and it still hasn't happened yet. And I'm like, just let it be. Let it be. Let that one go. He's the one who got away. And that's fine because it has to stop.
I am a firm believer in everything happens for a reason, and what is meant to be will be, because that's how life is. It's true. Like, yeah. I feel like if it's meant to be, then it will happen.
Sharon said, you girls are too funny. I've been laughing all night in a good way, and I needed it. Oh, Sharon, we love that. Nicole and I, like we said, we were on a sketch comedy team. We have like what it's called timing.
Oh, God!
We have that comedic timing.
Do we?
Because I don't know what makes us like.
It's just our personalities that work well together.
Yeah, but I also think because we've worked together before, we know each other. We know how to, play off each other. Okay, guys. So, what is something that really gets your blood boiling? Like, what's something that is a pet peeve or really pisses you off?
Oh my God, I have a book of pet peeves.
Okay, well, what's one?
My number one pet peeve is not parking close enough, and I mean closest to the entrance of something.
When you can't find a parking space?
No, I must park as close as possible. I would rather drive around that parking lot for an hour just to find the closest of walking distance to the entrance, because that is definitely an East Coast thing. I can't stand when people park like there's a parking spot right here, it's near the door, but then they're gonna park back here. I don't want someone to hit my car with their door. Well, I don't want to walk a mile to the entrance.
I never knew this about you.
You didn't?
No. I guess we've never gone in a parking garage.
Yes, it's not. I don't like parking garages because they are really far from the entrance. I don't even go anywhere unless there's a parking spot that could be close to the door. Is that so psychotic?
Weird. I mean, I never knew that.
And I am not ashamed.
Shame.
Another thing is, I have a ketchup phobia.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you wanted to bring it up.
I'm an open book, sweetheart. I hate ketchup. I can't smell it, touch it, see it. I hate saying the word. Where's the makeup person? I'm shiny.
There's no one here.
Literally silence.
Like her neighbor closes a cabinet
right,
door.
Yeah. There's a cricket.
Okay.
Wait, I have more pet peeves. Okay. I do not like the R word, and I can't say it, and you are not going to say it.
I knew that you were going to say this for some reason. Okay.
So my mother, well, she retired last year.
I thought you were going to say rest in peace.
Oh. My mother, she retired last year, but she taught, what do we say now? We don't say special ed anymore, do we?
Special needs.
Yeah, I don't think special ed's even right to say, but so the R word, do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I'm sure they do.
I don't like it. It's disrespectful because people were born that way, so it is a slur because we don't say things about people's, the bad words about people's looks or their ethnicity. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're
So I view the R word as like people can't help being born with special needs or whatever, and I just think it's messed up to use the R word like other bad words that we don't say about people.
I feel like there was a time where it was like everyone was using it, and then it became really PC to not use it. And now I feel like it's like some people like kind of, obviously I don't know about these people
like, you don't need to say it.
Bringing back the word. Like, but it's okay to
also,
use it
I hate when people say like that's gay or like using the word gay in a negative way because my brother is gay. And I don't like when people say those kinds of things too. Also the F word in that regard, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Those are just things like people use in a bad way, but it's like who those people are. So I don't like it. I don't know. That gets my blood boiling.
Sharon said, I've worked with kids with special needs. They are special individuals and so sweet. Oh, Sharon, you're like a freaking saint.
I know. I'm like, Sharon. Maybe Sharon needs to be either on this podcast or start her own because she's the nicest person on the planet.
Yeah, Sharon's bringing love and light to YouTube. And for anyone who ever says that YouTube is not the place, Sharon's here, guys.
Well, there was one person that said
that
guy. He's changing his mind.
Guys, we have almost 30 people on the live right now.
Oh, God. I hope they're not cops.
I'm going to take a second real quick just to plug something really quick.
What?
So, okay. I wrote a book called Good Girl. This is what this podcast is all about. We talk about money, career, shame, life. Shame. So the link...
Mugs.
And Los Angeles. So the link to buy the book is in the YouTube channel. It's on Amazon. So also subscribe to the podcast. I go live once a week. So just taking a quick minute to give a quick spiel while I have so many of you on here. A little while ago, we had 50 people on here.
50? I'm definitely getting arrested.
You're going to see that at the end of this live, we're probably going to have like 2,000 views. Total.
You said I drove drunk from Vegas.
You did.
It's so messed up.
Oh, 31 people.
Every time I mention an illegal thing I've done.
Okay. More people. What is something that you struggle with?
Everything. A main thing I struggle with is my body. My body in general. Not just like weight, but like my stomach. Like So I'm an open book, so I'll tell you guys. I just had a colonoscopy, and I'm under 45, so that was not necessary to do. But I've been having like digestion issues, so like I wanted to get. What if I had cancer? I don't know. I don't. Good news. And it actually was not that bad. Like I was nervous as heck, but it wasn't bad.
How was taking the solution like the day
that was disgusting, but it was only disgusting to drink because it tastes like poison. And you had to do it twice. It was terrible, but you do lose weight with it because it makes you get everything out.
Yeah, but then you probably can't poop for a few days because you pooped everything out.
Well, yeah, it's true. But anyway, so like my body in general, not just weight, but like with my stomach, like I'm just always so stressed about everything with my body. Like I have a fang tooth.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Look,
Pulling out the teeth.
I've always wanted to get it pulled, but the roots go all the way. Oh my God. Okay, I've also never given the middle finger, and I just almost did.
Okay.
Anyway, the roots go up to here, so you can't pull the fang tooth. You have to pull 2 teeth underneath of it and then get braces.
Really?
I had braces when I was like 9.
So just the fang tooth, the root goes all the way up there, or the other teeth as
No,
well?
the fang tooth.
Can I see it? Oh wow, why is that?
I don't know.
It's like an extra tooth?
No, I think it just got pushed up.
Oh,
there's space behind
it's your
it.
canine tooth
that
got pushed up.
Uh-huh. Oh. And I had braces when I was 9, but that's the problem. I had it when I was really young, so then the teeth, I don't freaking know what happened.
Oh, wait. Someone said I farted during colonoscopy and doctor was angry. Weren't you?
Why? That's supposed to happen.
Weren't you scared?
They have air going up your body.
I thought you were nervous about that.
I was nervous about it because they said that when you're in the recovery area that you're going to be tooting.
Huh. By the way,
and I didn't.
Sharon said, I've read the book and everyone needs to get a copy. Birthday, Mother's Day for yourself.
Oh, yeah, Mother's Day is coming.
And then Sharon also says, you can write a book about pet peeves, Nicole. It would be hilarious. That would be cute.
Like I mean, seriously, I do have a million pet peeves.
Like a little children's book? Like
a children's book?
Or like a funny book. Yeah. Like a pet peeve.
Like a coffee table book.
Peevy Nicole.
Peeved. Who?
She's peeved.
Oh, shame.
All right, guys, a few more questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. If any of you guys have questions for Nicole, please drop them in the chat now. I feel like this is a good time.
If you want to know all about a colonoscopy, I could tell you.
Okay. What are you wanting more of in life right now?
I want another colonoscopy. No, I'm just kidding. I do have to do another one in 3 years.
Oh, okay.
What do I want more of in life? Money. When people say money doesn't
buy happiness,
it does. It buys happiness.
Well, you can have money and not be a happy person. However,
you can be a happier person if you have money.
A study where if people made a certain amount of money, I think it's like 100,000 or 75,000, something like that per person, you are going to be happier because you can afford basic things like, you know, you can go on trips and you can pay your bills and you can buy food and clothes and have like a pretty comfortable life. So
well, money stresses you out, right? So if you had more of it, I feel like you'd be better off.
Yeah, but sometimes people who have so much money just, you know,
then they're idiots.
Take stuff for granted.
Because I want more money.
But like, how much money would you ideally like to be?
I want a house. I want to buy a house. In order to buy a house in LA, it's crazy.
Yeah, you need to be making $1 million a year.
So yeah, I need that money.
Yeah, so you do need money.
I at least don't want to rent anymore. I don't want to have a landlord. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone that you're a slave to.
Are you superstitious about anything? Sharon asked.
Kind of. Like during bowling, I have to do my routine. Remember I did a sketch on a ridiculous routine before you throw the ball? There's like, I have a chamois and I wipe off the ball and I have to wipe it. This sounds perverted, but the bowling ball, I'm wiping it in a certain spot.
Every time?
Every single time, yes.
God,
well, you have to get the oil off. And then I go up and I have to wipe the bottom of my shoe to make sure there's nothing on the bottom. This is a whole like...
Every time?
Yeah, every time you throw the ball. Like literally every time you throw the ball. So that's a little bit of a superstitious thing. But as for... I believe in karma. So like I used to litter a lot because I thought it was cool. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to throw trash on the street because that's what I can do. Now I do not do it ever. I hate it. And it's because I think if I drop even the smallest little piece of paper on the ground, that I'll have bad karma. So I make sure, even if I see other people's drop trash, I clean it up.
How old
because
were you when you were like badass, like I'm at
throwing shit out the door and out the window of the car.
How old were you?
I was like in my 20s.
Oh, not that old.
Wait.
I thought you were gonna say like I was 13 and I was like throwing trash.
Yeah, I mean,
you were like in your 20s.
I thought it was like a thing that showed power, but really it's stupid to do. But anyway, so I view like karma, like if I see something on the ground, I have to pick it up, because if I don't, then I think I'm gonna have bad karma, and then I have to pick it up.
Okay,
weird, right?
That. Yeah,
but at least it's a good thing.
Yeah,
for the planet.
I get superstitious about stuff, not necessarily like littering, but if there's something on the ground and I'm like, oh, I need to pick this up like before I leave, because it'll bother me.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
But like in a superstitious way, like if I don't pick it up, like something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah. It is the same thing.
Yeah, which is really weird. So, what are you wanting more of in life right now? Money. You said. What are your goals in life right now?
The number one goal right now is the house. I would like to own something. It doesn't have to be a house, be a condo, but it's still really expensive. And I don't want it up in bumfuck. I want it here in West Hollywood or in the hills. So,
well, if you and Hans work out, then you guys are.
But I want to own something for myself. Oh, because I don't want to get married, and that's one thing I did tell him. And I don't want to have kids either. That's something I've always decided on. That is something that's just what it is. I don't want it for my life. You have one life to live, and you make those choices. Shame!
No, it's laughing at me. I just thought of the soap opera, One Life to Live.
Oh. Is that a soap opera? I've never heard that. Okay, but anyway, you have one life, and you need to decide what you want to do, and that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to get married, and my career is my marriage. My career is my baby. My career is everything to me, and that's what I want in my life, and that's what I've dedicated to, and I have no problems with that. So even if when I say career, I mean acting. Even if you didn't get married, you want to buy this house on your own? Yeah, I do. That's expensive. I know, but I want to do it on my own. I want to have my own house. I don't want to be connected to someone else with that type of financial burden. That's another thing about money. You don't want to loan money to people. You don't want to take money from people as a loan. Like, it just creates bad blood. It's bad. Money, would you give it to me? Absolutely not. Really? I would let you starve on the street. I'm just kidding. I'd probably help her. Yeah. But please don't get any ideas. You know me. You know where I live. You've known me for a long time. That's the worst part. When you loan money to family or friends, is not a good idea. Like, it's literally the worst idea, because you do not want to have your whole relationship destroyed if someone can't pay you back, or if you're like waiting for that money. It just becomes not good. So don't do that. But if you needed help, or do you need help? No, I don't. But we should put together a GoFundMe for you for the podcast. Not my money. Well, yeah, we could do that. So I think it's hard for me to ask people for money. Like, even the other day, my dad did ask me if I needed help. Oh. But he didn't say, like, I'm going to give you money. Does he normally do that? No, normally no. Then what's going on? I think it's because I was, like, in between jobs, and, like... Did he know that? Yeah, like, I told him that... Because he knows that last year I got fired from that one job, and I've been fired a couple times from a couple different jobs in the past year. And, he probably was getting a little concerned that I was currently, like, unemployed. This was about a month ago, when some of the jobs I have now, they like hadn't started yet. I had like interviewed with them, but it was just nowadays jobs, you don't just get hired and start working. It's like you have an interview and then you hear back from them like a month later. So he did offer to help, but I didn't say yes, that would be great. Like, I just was like, oh, thank you. But wait, did you say yes? Did he help you? No, because I feel like if somebody was going to help, they're just going to be like, I'm going to help you. He has my bank info. Like, if he could just deposit money into my account, like if he really wanted to. But I could give him my bank information. Okay. But moral of the story is, I think it's hard for me to ask for money. I don't think I've asked anyone for money, like, since I've been out here. I think my mom helped me with my
security deposit on the apartment I have now, but that was literally like 14 years ago.
My parents definitely help me with money, but they say it. They just say, "Hey, I'm sending you this."
Yeah.
But like, it's not like I need it or else I'm gonna be homeless. It's more of like,
maybe you're just going.
I know that my mom's retired now, and she waited a long time to retire, so she has a lot coming in, and she lives by herself, so she's actually being very generous with me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't ask for anything.
See, like you don't ask, but they're like, "Hey, like I want to help you. I'm going to send you some money." I think that's.
Well, it's more like for our Disney trip. We're all going, my family with Hans and everybody, and like she bought my like whole meal plan, which is like it's expensive because we're staying like in the Disney resort and stuff.
Yeah,
but like she just wanted to do it to be nice. So
yeah, that's nice stuff like that where people just offer. Like that's the thing. If somebody offers me like, "Hey, I'm going to give you this," I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
But if somebody,
but like the loaning and the asking for like, "Hey, can you loan me this?" That's like not a good idea to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
It creates bad relationships, I feel like.
Okay, so is there
I asked you for money. Why do you need help?
Is there anything you regret?
Isn't that shame?
No.
Oh. Yeah, I regret a lot of stuff.
Shamed about nothing, regret everything.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I regret staying in a bad relationship for a long time. And I'm not talking about the most recent one. I'm talking about other ones too. I regret not seeing my friend before he died of colon cancer. And I had many opportunities to go visit him and I didn't do it. That's a regret. I regret, honestly, like I have a hard time saying bye to people. Like in general, I have a really hard time saying bye to people. And so I regret, like I had a hard time saying bye to my pop-up when he was about to die, and I regret that. But like I have a hard time even just saying goodbye to people that I know aren't dying. Like it's hard for me. I get emotional. I don't know. I regret certain things that I've said in past jobs. I'm very blunt. And so there's times where I should have just not said the things that I said to certain people at a job. I still felt them and wanted to say them, but I think sometimes it wasn't the right. I should just be quiet.
Sometimes. Did you get fired?
No, I've never been fired. I'm just saying like things that could get me in trouble at a job. You know what I mean? Where I'm just speaking up, and sometimes it's best to just be quiet in those scenarios. Like I wasn't being hurt or anything, but just sometimes you don't need to argue with people at work. I don't know. I regret some of the stuff I've done that way. I mean, honestly, I regret things on a daily basis.
Oh, really?
Because I am so blunt and honest, and sometimes that does make me come off aggressive. And I mean, you know that. Like I sometimes say things that maybe I should think about before I say, and I regret saying those things. Yeah.
Okay. I feel you though on the not being able to say goodbye to someone who's like
that you know is the last time. I have a really hard time doing that. Like I don't. Oof. Why did you have that happen to you?
So
you did?
When I was living in Austin, my mother and my grandmother, we had gotten a 2-bedroom apartment after I graduated college for like a year. And my mom was taking care of my grandma like in this apartment. And my grandma was dying.
Yeah.
Like she had, like it was getting towards the end of like her life. And I was probably like 22 years old. And my grandma was dying in the other room, and like it was the night she was dying, and my mom was like, "Come say goodbye to her," and I couldn't do it.
No, and I regret that. It. Yeah,
I do regret that. So,
I mean, it was my pop-up, and then my granddad I couldn't because he was in Florida, so that wasn't something I could go say bye to him. And then it was my pop-up that I did not go up and say bye.
How old were
you? That was right before I moved here.
It was right before I moved here.
Oh my God.
The same thing happened to us.
That's crazy.
Literally.
And he was up the hill. So my grandparents lived up the hill from us.
Uh-huh.
So I could have just, everybody did, and I couldn't do it.
Really?
And my dad was actually pretty pissed that I didn't do it. And I was pissed too, because I don't know, I couldn't do it. And then with my friend, like, I had multiple chances. I had gotten him a shirt because we were going to a concert and he wound up getting colon cancer, and it was like really abrupt, but it was really bad. He had waited to figure out this. My friend Andrew, and we were supposed to go to the used concert, and I got him a shirt because he couldn't go because it was that bad that he couldn't leave the house. And I needed to give him that shirt. And honestly, it was a whole year that I could have gone and given him that shirt, or at least gone and saw him. And then on Christmas, we found out that he died, and everyone was pretty shocked, but like we knew that it was a possibility, like that it was going to be happening, and I just couldn't bring myself to go there and say bye because I get really, really emotional. So it's selfish of me to do it, and I regret it, and I still have that shirt, and I still regret it. But it's so hard to put yourself into that position, but it's selfish of us to not go say bye. But it's just really hard.
When we were young, like 22, and that happened with your grandpa and with my grandma, I do feel like we were still children, like in some ways.
I mean,
like that was my first time experiencing death.
Yeah, same.
So I think we get a little bit. I think
for my grandmother, the one that I like closest to, my idol, my best friend, I did go, and she had dementia. She had Alzheimer's. So she barely knew who I was, and I did go there, and I had to say bye, and it was like I broke down in the elevator. People had dragged me out of the elevator because the doors kept opening up, and I'm just crying in the corner. But she did remember me. She did say one thing like that was about me that I knew she knew who I was, and that was hard to do. But I am very, very glad that I did that. Yeah, I would have majorly regretted not doing that. And then my other grandmother died in the same month. It was hard.
Wow.
And I didn't get to say goodbye to her because I had already come back to LA. So sad stuff we're talking about.
I know.
Listen, we're full of emotion, and we're very dynamic.
Yusef said, "Your mother is beautiful. Would you accept to marry me? I am Moroccan."
First of all, do you think I'm her mother? Or maybe he saw pictures of your mother, but I am not a mother.
I'd love to go to Morocco.
I am. Oh my God! Okay, here. Oh no! Okay, I give you the hand of my daughter. Here you go.
Okay, so last question. What is something you want to manifest? What is something you want to speak into existence? It's gonna happen.
What? I was just reading a comment that said Bianca, not Kanye West ex-wife?
Her name is Bianca. Kanye's. Are they divorced?
No, they're still together.
Oh, that's why I don't think it made sense.
But okay. Yeah, her name is Bianca. And
what is something? What is something that you want to manifest? Speak it out into existence. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
I need to get on a show regularly, like ASAP.
So we are manifesting a TV show for Nicole to get on regularly, a regular role on a TV show,
or stand-in, really,
a stand-in role on a TV show. So everyone, let's put our paws together and let's manifest for Nicole. Become a timeless poet that heals society. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, is that what you want to manifest? Let's manifest that for SZ. SZ wants to become a timeless poet that heals society.
Yusef is laughing. I am not her mother, but I will give her away.
All right, guys. If you guys don't have any more questions, take it back. All right.
Did you just say unicorn?
If you guys don't have any more questions.
Oh my God.
Sorry, guys. If you guys don't have any more questions for Nicole Leanne Nelson, I'm going to end the live right now. But don't worry, because I will be back next week. I believe it's going to be next Tuesday for another episode of the Good Girl Podcast. So take a second now to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get notified of when we're going to be going live.
Your mother.
Yusuf said, I'm just kidding with you. I have a funny personality. Yusuf, that is what we are here for. We are here for the funny personalities, right? So Nicole, thank you so much for coming on the podcast tonight. This was
thank you for having me.
Fun, and everyone was wildly entertained. We made Sharon's night. She needed this laugh.
Sharon made us our night. Made us our night.
Yeah.
Sharon made our night.
If it wasn't for Sharon, we wouldn't have had,
love.
As much love. And we needed that. We needed that love tonight. So,
well, Yusuf wants to marry you.
Yeah, but now he's laughing and he says he's just kidding.
About me being a mother.
Oh, okay. Sharon said, this has been so much fun. Good night, girls, and thank you for the party. Woo! All right, guys.
You can get this mug at Starbucks. Actually, they might not have them anymore, so I shouldn't say that.
They probably don't. Okay. All right, guys. Subscribe to the podcast. Buy the book on Amazon, Good Girl, and we will see you next week. Well, not her, but I will see you next week.
That is messed up.
Okay, guys.
You'll never steer me again.
Bye, Sharon.